Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Kelley, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. We have another great show today. I'm so excited because it's the holiday season. You can see some of the decorations here. Just get you in the mood, you know. And our guest today is Sarah Labrie. Sarah is the musical director for Quincy Choral Society, and she is just a treat. I want you to know. She's just unbelievable. She's also, I'll let her tell you all about her. But we have something coming up. We have this angel here. This is Angela. Is that a good name for an angel? And because we have a concert coming up with the Quincy Choral Society. I say we because I am part of the group also. And the concert's called Angel Band. It's a very special concert. And I'm going to have Sarah. Sarah, maybe we should play the promotion first. What do you think?
Sure.
So we have a little promotional video. So stay tuned. Watch the promotional video. You'll get a little feel for it. And then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the concert. Thank you so much. Be right back.
Sun's gladsome light is sinking fast. My spirit loudly sings. The holy ones, they come at last. I hear those angel wings. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snowy wings to my eternal home. Bear me away on your snowy wings to my eternal home. Sun's gladsome light is sinking fast. My spirit loudly sings. The holy ones, they come at last. I hear those angel wings. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snowy wings to my eternal home. Bear me away on your snowy wings to my eternal home.
So Sarah, wasn't that an awesome video? Is that unbelievable?
Yeah, and showcases the hymn tune that the whole piece is based on.
It does. Well, first of all, tell the people a little bit about who you are and what you're doing here, and then we'll talk about the concert.
Okay. Well, I've been the artistic director of Quincy Choral Society for 3 years now. I think this is our whole third season together. We started in November of 2019, and you know what happened next?
I don't know what happened. Tell us, because I think the people forgot.
Oh my goodness. Well, during the COVID time, we actually were supposed to have our very first concert together the weekend of March 17th, 2020. And so we had a rehearsal that Monday night and said, see you at the dress rehearsal on Saturday. And that dress rehearsal never happened. So
The concert that never was.
The concert that never was. But we sort of pivoted quickly to a fully online season in 2020 and 2021. But we were able to do a lot of things. We were on Zoom learning about vocal pedagogy and warm-ups and how to use the voice even when you're not in a choir setting, and sort of struggling through that all together because it's a difficult and vulnerable thing to sing on your own when you're used to singing with others. But at the end of the season, we were able to put together the Foray Requiem at the Marriott Hotel in Quincy. We had some people do us some amazing favors and allow us to use the ballroom in that space. And so everything we prepared online for months that we thought we'd never get to sing together, we got a shot to do it right at the end of that May in 2021.
They closed down the Marriott after that because of a COVID outbreak. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Well, that was fun.
The season after that was our first, I suppose, full regular season together. So now we're working on our second out of 3 full seasons together.
Yeah.
And Angel Band is our first concert of this season.
Tell the folks how you came across the music of well, tell them what it is first. What is Angel Band? It's a,
Sure.
what do you call it? What?
It's a Christmas cantata.
A cantata. What is a cantata?
Yeah, so it sort of follows the form of old cantatas of Bach and other great composers.
Well, I don't know what an old cantata is. This is a new cantata,
Sure.
folks.
Yeah.
But what is a cantata?
So it's a multi-movement work, and oftentimes they were scored for sacred uses, to be used in either a church service or some more sort of extravagant service that you would attend with large groups of people for special occasions. But they are multi-movements. This one is 10 movements, technically. There's a processional and a recessional, just like you might have in a church service, and then the 8 movements in the middle that sort of create this progression that you might be able to use in either a church service or a concert setting, which is how we're doing it.
How did you find out about this? Now, didn't you say this is the New England premiere of this?
It is.
So
Yes.
tell us the story behind how we got this music.
Sure. So the
Is there
piece,
is there a story?
yeah, I guess a
Didn't you
small
meet
one.
someone at a conference or something? Did
So
you?
actually, one of the 2 composers, Tim Sharp,
Okay.
was the president of the National ACDA, which is the American Choral Directors Association. So just about any choir director you'll meet is part of ACDA. We have state chapters, we have regional chapters, sort of Eastern, Southeastern, so on, and then the national conference. So he was the president of National ACDA, which is how I knew his name.
Okay.
But I really just stumbled upon this piece sort of via word of mouth. It was only composed in 2021, so it's really quite new.
Right.
And Tim Sharp and Timothy Michael Powell wrote the movements, but they're based in Oklahoma, which is where this Appalachian sort of theme comes from. So Angel Band is not a regular cantata that you might think of in a classical sense. Though a choir is singing it, it's accompanied by chamber orchestra, but it's a bluegrass Christmas cantata. So on top of our regular string instrumentation of a string quartet and percussion and flute, we're also going to have bluegrass instruments, a concertina.
Such as?
Concertina, which is sort of
What
like...
is that?
Yeah, it's sort of like an accordion.
Okay.
It's a very specific type of accordion-like instrument.
Okay.
The hammered dulcimer, which is an Appalachian, it looks almost like a sideways harp, and you play it with these little hammers. It's going to be very
Okay.
cool. And of
Is
course,
Greg playing that?
he's doing actually banjo, mandolin, and guitar
Okay.
to round out. I wish we had a
A
washboard.
good friend of hers plays all these instruments.
So it's just something that's so unique. And when
The banjo you said?
the banjo.
I don't think this has to be a first. I don't think they've ever had a banjo at a Quincy choral.
I hope this is a new thing.
A banjo, okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It should be good.
And well, when I found it, actually, I
Found
like
the
I said,
song
I
or found the banjo?
Oh gosh, I've never found a banjo. But when I found the piece,
Yeah.
like I said, it was by accident.
Oh, you're just online listening to different things?
Yeah, sort of in my search for, okay, what can we think of for the string that ties all of the pieces together for our Christmas concert? You know, the holiday season concerts I actually find sort of difficult to plan for.
Why is that?
Because there's so much tradition, and you want to make sure that you have a nice balance of doing traditional things, but also bringing something new to not just the audience, but to the singers. Exploring new ideas, new themes, new pieces, new melodies that maybe no one's heard in centuries. So the Angel Band Cantata is the feature of the program. But we've actually got a whole first half of the program
With some more familiar tunes.
with some more familiar tunes.
So that will
Yeah.
satisfy the traditionalists who want to have that
Yeah.
Christmas, those tunes that they have heard many times.
Exactly. And even so, with tunes that many people have heard for years and years and years, I try to find arrangements that are unique to those songs versus just singing something right out of the hymnal that you might find in church. We do it with a little extra flair. So two of the pieces on the beginning half are traditional Christmas tunes, but with four-hand piano accompaniment. So not just one pianist.
So
but
Gingy
two.
Grimes, the accompanist, she's going to have four hands?
Exactly. She's
Oh.
growing an extra two arms.
There's a miracle, folks. There's going to be a miracle at this concert. Now, Joel Davidson, right? One of the
Yes.
choral, one of the bass section.
Happens to be a fabulous pianist.
So he's going to join her on the piano.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're thrilling arrangements, I think, and just give sort of a new life to this tune that folks may know. Breathes new life into the Christmas traditions.
Well, it's funny because inside the Angel Band cantata,
Mm-hmm.
there is a familiar tune to a lot of the folks that are familiar with Irish music. And what is that?
Yes. So one of the movements towards the end of the piece uses the London Derriere tune, which is most people know as Danny Boy.
Yeah, my father never sang the London Derriere. I'm sorry.
No. I know it's the old name of the tune.
That was it. That's the old name of Danny Boy.
Yeah. So
So it was a British tune originally?
I don't exactly know where the origination was. It was somewhere in the British Isles, but
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if it was in the UK or in Ireland.
That's all right. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
I guess I associate it with Ireland, but I don't
I
know
do
that
too.
for a fact.
But that name makes me think of England.
Right.
So,
Or Londonderry.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's funny. So what
Yeah.
are some of the other holiday favorites that the people should enjoy, not
Oh,
in the
boy.
cantata?
So the first half, I think, features 6 pieces, if I'm remembering correctly. We open the concert with a setting of Go Tell It on the Mountain,
Okay.
which is a really exciting piano accompaniment, and there's lots of different things happening between the voice parts. It's sort of antiphonal, very fanfare-like to open the concert. We are singing a traditional Ukrainian carol, actually called Pavochka Hodit. I hope I said it right.
I don't think anyone's going to criticize you. Just send your comments into the Milton Access TV if you want to talk about it.
Let me know. But this was a song that I found from a friend in Eastern Europe. I was looking to tie in...
She has friends everywhere.
the choral world is a small one. But as I was looking for ways to maybe tie in some of the Ukrainian we did in May's concert, we did the Ukrainian relief effort donation through Sunflowers for Peace. And I thought, well, we're not ready to let that go yet. This is still something happening in the world, and how can we stay tied to this and, shine a light and talk about some of the amazing and beautiful and joyful holiday traditions in Ukraine. So the Pavochka is about a peacock. It's a really interesting pagan-based Christmas tradition where a young girl takes peacock feathers, which have fallen onto the ground from her pavochka, and weaves them into a feather crown to celebrate the holiday.
Ah,
Yeah.
I had no clue.
It's
Yeah,
a
I'm
very
learning
cool
something
little
here.
piece.
Wow, okay, that's
Yeah.
very nice. And you talk about shining a light,
Mm-hmm.
and we think of Ukraine being put into darkness
Mm-hmm.
in the cold and everything. So it's
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with us remembering how fortunate we are
Mm-hmm.
to have heat. You talked
Yeah.
about new mini splits,
Yes!
and I talked about new
We were
mini
just
splits,
talking about-
and it's my house. My house didn't have heat on the second floor, only in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
The bedrooms had no heat, but my wife's Canadian. She's
So
perfectly
she said,
happy.
I'll be fine.
But now it's nice. If we have company or guests
Mm-hmm.
in the guest room, we now have mini splits, which also give us air conditioning and heat. So it's a
Exactly. It'll
it's a
pay
nice
off in
treat.
all seasons.
So it's going to be a great concert.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about any of the other songs that come to mind?
Oh my goodness. One of the four-hand piano pieces is Ding Dong Merrily on High,
Yes.
which I think is just one of the most joyful little Christmas songs.
It's fun.
And Yeah, what I was looking for, like I said, tying the pieces in the program together, because that's something that I love as a choral conductor. I think programming is sort of my bread and butter, looking for how to tie pieces together. Do the keys go together? Do the words go together? And what's the silver thread that ties everything together? This probably comes back from loving taking English classes and having teachers over the years say, everything needs to tie back to the thesis statement, right?
Wow. Did you
So-
love English?
I did.
Okay.
So finding Angel Band, when I accidentally stumbled upon this cantata, it was because I knew the hymn Angel Band. So that's where I started. I thought, oh, it would be
Is
nice
that the one
to
on
program.
you mean, is that the processional on
It
the
is.
on the video that folks just watched?
Yes.
And if you're just tuning in, we'll play it again at the end. Okay.
And it's from the Southern Harmony Hymnal, and it's this beautiful hymn tune, and I've known and loved it for years, and I thought, oh, it would be great to do that hymn. And then, boom, here comes this whole cantata, and I thought, there it is. That's the idea. So the whole program, the first half, all 6 pieces tie into the idea of people heralding in the season. So Go Tell It on the Mountain, heralding in the season. Ding Dong Merrily on High is another, heralding in the season. And all these traditions that spread joy and goodness and light. So that's the piece that ties every single piece on the program together.
The silver thread.
Exactly.
Man, oh man. See, I didn't think you even thought much about this stuff. Just threw it all together.
Oh, so you should.
Are you telling me the directors have other work to do besides the teaching of the music to the choral group?
See, you put out a whiteboard and you start writing everything and scribbling, and it looks like physics, you know.
Wow. Tell folks a little bit more about you. Why are you with the Quincy Choral Society? What about the Quincy Choral Society that attracted to you when we were looking for a director? What was the attraction to you? Teaching a bunch of old guys and women how to sing.
Well, no, it's lifelong music making is, I think, the best thing. I teach public school during the day, public school, high school choir.
Okay.
And that's just lovely. But so many times I saw that students would, be a part of the choral program all through high school, go to college, and would never sing again. And I thought, well, isn't that just dreadful?
It's like the day the music died.
Yes, and sometimes those folks will find their way back to community choir, community music. And this is such a rich tradition across the whole world of community music. But that's, I think, one of the best facets for choral music is folks in your community coming together, volunteer. I mean, the Quincy Choral Society meets on Monday nights, for crying out loud. Right. So you find a group of people who's willing to take their Monday nights every week, 7 to 9:30 p.m., and just sing for the joy of singing. And there's nothing better than that.
So what's different about teaching us versus teaching the high schoolers? Or is there not much difference?
In a lot of ways, it's very similar as far as the pedagogy goes. and
Wait,
how to
hold on.
approach,
So wait a minute.
know.
You've used that word twice now in the show.
Okay.
What does that mean, pedagogy?
Basically, how you teach something. It's the art of teaching. So yeah.
You learn a lot of stuff on Talk of the Town, folks. Let me tell you.
Yeah, so the pedagogy of choir, changes based on your age groups. You would teach an elementary school group different than you'd teach a college group, different than you'd teach a community group. And what's fun about a community group is that you're getting people from all walks of life. There's a very broad age range, but there's also a very broad range of skills. Some people read music, some people don't. Some people used to be choir directors, and some people are doctors and lawyers and all sorts of things. We get people from all walks of life, but they have the same common passion and love. So you teach that in a different way than you'd ever teach a professional group or even high school kids who are just learning the basics of how to do this.
So is it harder to teach the kids? Or
Ooh, that's a good question.
because they're not there as a volunteer, or are they? These are like, is this an elective they choose?
It is.
So it is kind of like a volunteer group. But are they just doing it to get out of something else that they didn't like?
Sometimes, for sure.
So, all right. So So it's different, okay. But also, it's different in your life because you're not just a choral director, you also are a performer. Matter of fact, you're going to leave here today. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to rehearsal for Holiday Pops.
So you sing in the pops.
I do.
And then in the summer, where do you sing?
Oh, all over the place.
Well, in Massachusetts, where do you sing?
So I'm singing in and around Boston quite a bit.
Yeah, but what about in Western Mass? Where do you sing?
At Tanglewood.
So you're in Tanglewood
Yeah.
singing? And what do you sing? Do you sing alto, tenor? No,
I'm an alto.
You're an alto.
Yes.
That's going to be the worst music that
Oh,
they
it's the
altos
best.
get. See, you love it.
I do.
It's very seldom is the melody.
No, and of course
There was a song they sang when Martha sang at one of our concerts called
the altos
the
lament.
Altos Lament. Altos Lament. They're lamenting how it's just you never get that melody.
No, and you know what? As an alto who directs choirs, when I'm looking for music, I look for songs that have a great alto part because I know the struggle of
Of the
getting
altos,
one note
the
for the
struggle of
whole concert. Yeah.
Wow, does it feel like that? Sometimes it
Oh,
feels that way.
sometimes it does.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's important to look for things that spread the wealth a little bit
Sure.
as far as getting the melody and having interesting things to do.
Wow.
Yeah, you could program a really boring concert if you tried.
So you're going to sing in the pops. You sing in the pops. You sang at Tanglewood, and you'll probably
Mm-hmm.
sing again at Tanglewood. And then where else have you? Tell me what other musical adventures you were on.
Sure. So I sing in an international choir called
Of course she does, folks. Of course.
called
That's Quincy Choral, isn't it?
Well, you know, we're planning on going on tour again.
Okay.
The question is where.
Well, okay.
So Via Taurus Mundi was another right place, right time for me. I think I've been blessed in a lot of ways to be in the right place at the right time. And this group was several friends that had met at a conducting workshop in Italy and decided one summer to put together sort of a super group of chamber singers.
Super group.
So there's 12 of us, and we're
Okay.
all from different countries. But we get together
Do
once
you represent
a
the
year.
United States?
I do.
Wow.
I hope I do it well.
Is it Iran or Iran? Make sure you get that right.
Actually, we do have a singer from Iran, Farzad, if you're watching all the way in Tehran, from Milton.
Look
so,
at that.
well, of course, we were texting yesterday about the World Cup game, the U.S. versus Iran.
Well, that's why I
We
said it, because the U.S. guy said
I'll have to ask
Iran
him.
instead of Iran.
Yeah.
And he was corrected by the Iranians.
Yeah, but it's great. We've got people from Iran, Spain, France, Croatia, Serbia, Germany. I know I'm forgetting some, but we just get together once a year, and we go to Croatia, this island called Brač, a little town called Bol.
Brač
and
in the
it's
Bol.
one of the most beautiful places on earth if you ever get a chance to go.
Is there a monastery there or something?
There
Or-
is. So we do the final concerts in a Dominican monastery right on this cliff overlooking the ocean.
Is
You
it
just
high
can't-
up, real high up?
It is.
Oh, you'll have to come on again sometime and bring pictures and share that. That's a
Oh,
great
it's
story.
Gorgeous. Yeah. And we just love getting together. It's sort of fun because it's like living in a choral commune for a
A choral commune.
There's the 12 of us share. It's like bunk beds, you know. It's just one house, and we all spread out and sleep on couches and floors, and we live together for 2 weeks and cook all of our meals together. You walk down and rehearse, and
Are there beautiful beaches there too?
oh, it's stunning. Yeah, the famous beach is the Zlatni Rat. It's
Zlatni Rat.
the golden horn. It literally looks like a horn
Oh, okay.
at the end of
So
the
it's like a
island.
protective bay.
It just sticks out. So
Oh.
the whole island is sort of this crescent moon shape.
Wow.
And then the island is just the beach is
Do the
just
monks
tip.
sing?
I've never heard them.
Oh, they don't do like
But-
chants or anything?
So there's this amazing tradition actually in Croatian choral music called klapa. It's Klappa. And it was just named by UNESCO as a World Heritage tradition.
Okay.
So it's being protected, but it's this rich choral tradition that they have where every town had its own klapa group, similar to community choirs.
Okay.
Right? So each town would have this klapa choir that had sort of their own town song, And they would sing other songs, usually about the sea or beauty or nature or love. And it's very similar to what we do here. But I would say they have maybe more groups because it's sort of town-based.
Instead of
Yeah.
multi-town based.
So Quincy welcomes people from Milton, from
Sure.
Weymouth, you know.
That's funny. I'm cutting you off because we're running out of time, and we haven't told the people a little more about the concert.
Sure.
So you saw the promo video, right? Pay attention. We'll play it again at the end. But it's going to be at St. Mary's of the Hills Church in Milton, December 18th, so a week before Christmas, which is, sometimes it's been hectic up to that point. The house is already decorated now. You bought all the presents, hopefully, except for the guys that are going to be in the mall on Christmas Eve. But you can really get into the spirit. You can really just relax, sit back, and just let the music transform you. Live music, a lot of us have gotten away from because of COVID. Here's your chance to just let it reverberate. Let the sound of the instruments and the choral group just kind of transform you and just kind of get you into the Christmas holiday spirit. And so it's going to be at St. Mary's Church, December 18th, 4 p.m. And we're expecting a large crowd, and we're hoping that you can come out and hear the cantata, the New England premiere. And so we're excited to be a part of that. And is there anything else I forgot? Oh, the tickets are $20. They'll be available at the door. We don't have all that fancy stuff where you can go online and buy the ticket yet, but we're working. We're working on that. We're a volunteer group also, and we do have things to do the rest of the week other than choral group stuff. So. But we're working on making some changes or doing what we can to make it a better experience for you, the listeners. You're important. We spend a lot of time and energy listening to Sarah and trying to, make this music as beautiful as we can with the skills that we have. But it's important that you're there, because that's what makes it, it increases the level of a group's performance when there is a crowd there. Because we feed off the crowd. It's a two-way street, you know what I mean? And so please plan on coming. Come early. There's additional parking over at St. Mary's of the Hills School, which is a 5-minute walk. So, if you have your designated driver, can drop you off and then pull the car around and park it across the street at the school. That would be helpful. If you're healthy and a walk doesn't bother you, try not to take a spot near the church. Park over at the school and leave that for someone that has mobility issues. There is an elevator at the church, so if you're facing the church, if you just drive around back where the priest would enter, in the back there's a garage. Right beside that there's a doorway and there's an elevator there. There are bathrooms, but it's not like the Marriott Hotel where there's going to be a ton of bathrooms. So I ask that you do your business at home before you leave, so that you don't have to wait in line or anything like that and miss the start of the cantata, which will be the beginning of the second half. And folks, we got 10 seconds left. Sarah Labrie, say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for being here.
Hope
Thank
you
you,
can join us.
folks. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the 18th.